And that was their first win at home in 2 years.
My heart rate, the cortisol levels, the hormones firing through my body, out of this world.
And at the end, Dragons had chocolate milk. Something happened when Fumi Fudoju came off and the super shot started, and James has put in capital letters, Gracie.
Yes.
From Manchester Thunder's head coach, did say that she wanted creativity today. And I thought, you've got to give us creativity then, Karen. Hello, and welcome to Longer Than 3 Seconds, episode
12?
I don't know. Season 1, episode 12.
Season 1, episode 12, yeah. What a weekend.
What a weekend.
I know we usually do the little catch up on what you've been up to, but I feel like netball is the answer.
Yeah, and since we last met, we've got so much to catch up on in terms of the launch event.
Oh my God, that was a bit, yes, this is less of what did you do this weekend, but more like what did you do this week?
Yeah, so this whole episode is going to be very exciting, so buckle up, guys.
Buckle up, strap in.
Yes.
So do you want to start with our launch party?
I actually just want to start with your outfit. I think this is my favourite outfit of the podcast season so far.
Is it Al's episode?
Yeah,
Al's
I love
seasonal
it.
outfit.
I love it.
Thank you. I got some new trousers for those listening on audio. They are orange pinstripes. They match our mics, actually. They match our Brandon.
Yeah.
Today
you should have
I've
let me
dressed
know.
as the logo.
I would have bought a pair.
You know what? I'll get you some.
Yeah.
We can come twinning. Got my stripy orange trousers, and then I also bought this jumper at the weekend, which is from a women's sport brand. It's called Fowdies, and it's actually a football team. It's Denver Summit.
Oh, cool.
So that's why it's a bit mountainous.
That's very cool. And you're kind of matching our themes.
Do I blend in with the sofa?
Yeah, you are Longer Than 3 Seconds.
Am I really here? No. Yeah, it's a mystery. It's just a floating mic. Thank you. That was a little boost. I've also got my space buns in today, and I think they are kind of cute.
They are very cute.
My little Brady space buns, which I saw Hallie had space buns a few weeks ago, so I got space buns.
Mean Girls reference, for those who don't know.
We had our launch party.
We did.
Wait, not to move on. Sorry, let's look at your outfit.
Oh, so I'm incredibly hungover, everyone. So I'm in my
Which
most...
is not what I was looking towards. You look like shit.
Yeah, and so if you are a audio listener, you've made the good choice here. Because
But what I was going to say was that you thought this was the perfect event to wear the Pulse hoodie.
Yeah, so Ali's gifted me the Pulse hoodie for the past maybe month or more. Very generous friend. And so I thought...
We'll go into why you were wearing that later, but... You thought it was the time.
It was.
But other than that, on Wednesday, we had our mid-season launch party.
We did.
Which was kind of one of the moments, we talked about it last week, if you were listening, where we kind of said, why not?
Yeah, literally, why not?
Why not? We'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I think we kind of had one of the moments where we voice noted a couple of ideas and then we were like, well. And then people started to say yes. And then it was like, oh, it's happening. We actually have to do it now.
Yeah, imposter syndrome set in.
Oh, deep.
Yeah, and didn't know what was happening. But yeah, it went and it was a massive success. But do we save this for amateur hour? Or
we can save this for amateur hour. So stay tuned for the party launch. Other than that, what did you do this weekend? You were a bit hungover. What did you do?
Yeah, so got all my bridesmaids together and we went out last night in Portobello Road. It was very fun. But shots were we had a tequila shot as our second drink of the night.
Oh, that's quite
that's
early.
Just how it went.
Early doors for a tequila shot.
I know. These days, I'm not a massive drinker.
No.
And I feel like I was a massive drinker last night, so I am.
I actually can't remember the last time I had a tequila shot. You know what I actually did when I was on the stag do, my Make Easy stag do recently, a tequila shot was thrust upon me and I did do a sneaky, when you're just not quite ready yet, I did a sneaky throw it to the side.
Over the shoulder.
Yeah, nice. I was very sly with it and never came back again, so I never think about it. Although we did have you had tequila shots that are like those coffee Patron, but it's not Patron anymore. I can't remember what the brand is.
Oh no, I haven't had
like
those
coffee
ones.
Tequila. That
Delicious.
is like... Yeah, not to promote alcohol on our podcast, but if you were to have a tequila shot, that would be the one that goes down quite smooth.
Well, tequila rosé is also brilliant. So
is that one that's like milky colour?
Yeah, it's like
pink?
Strawberry milkshake.
Yeah, it gives me weird vibes.
Yeah, it is weird, but anyway, let's not talk
was it
about it because
wholesome?
I feel like you're teetering on the edge of me being hungover.
And also, just as I came round, Rosie was like on the way. Oh, it's all kicked off today. Got here, so not only is she dealing with a hangover, she's also dealing with a cat-related pus abscess situation.
Why does it always happen when you're like worse for wear? I don't get it. Like, why does all the bad things happen? So my poor little cat has been in a fight. I say poor little cat, he's probably definitely instigated. He's 15, but he acts as if he's like 5.
He's very rough and tumble.
Yeah, he's got a bite. It's turned into an infection. And then for those people that are squeamish, turn off now. But it's a bit of a trigger warning here. But there was pus and blood literally up several walls in my house, all over the floor, on furniture, and then we were at the out of hours event. So it was very,
Little did I know, I was walking into a war zone. I was walking around, backpack on, microphones in hand, ready to record. Walking, Rosie. It's been a rough day.
Yeah, come in, but turn off your nose because it stinks in here because of the pus coming out of a little cat. So it's very sad, but he's fine. He's got some antibiotics and stuff, so he'll be fine.
He's a soldier.
Yeah.
Moving on from the pussycat.
Yes.
Literally, the pussy cat.
Yes. A pussy cat. I see what you did there.
Cat. Shall we move to the netball?
Yes.
Slightly more stomachable topic.
Is it? That's the question.
Okay, so first game was LexisNexis Dragons versus Nottingham Forest.
It was indeed. Philippa Yarrington has let us know that she's retiring at the end of the season.
So this was her final home game, which, good home game to have, very tight.
Yeah.
I won't do my usual spoiler alert before we go through the results, but it was a tight game.
And Niamh McCall's back. And so it's always nice to have your last home game with someone like a Niamh McCall in a team.
Exactly. And what did you say earlier? Niamh McCall was back. Need I say more?
Yes.
Need I say more?
Yeah. She was great. She was on fire.
I'm full of puns today.
But I thought Jackie Newton played really great, and Niamh McCall in the first quarter particularly. And then they ended, Dragons were up by 3, so it's 19-16 at the end of the quarter.
It's pretty good. They already were setting their home dominance.
Yeah, the intentions were there. I did, obviously, Nottingham Forest are so good.
As we said last week, they're the bogey team.
They are.
Never rest.
They are. But then you go, when Dragons are on full force and they've got their whole team, Dragons are really good. So
I think Dragons have had, again, it's one of them teams where it surprises me, similar to Forest when they won, was it last week? And they realised that they hadn't won since round 3 or something like that. Dragons are kind of similar. In my head, they win quite a lot. And then when you actually look at it, I'm like, oh, they haven't won as many times as I thought. But they don't lose ever by like a absolute wipeout. It's always they're fighting they're almost there. So yeah, this game I didn't really know which way it would go.
No, it was a good game, and then at half time it was 33-33. But up until the second quarter, they had Rhea Dixon on, and it was the same things we talk about every week of
just not quite getting those shots.
Yeah, well, also not really going for the super shots, and then all the heat being on Rolene. And so when they brought Anya Williams on, I was like, oh, that's great, because actually they were, I think, 4 down before Anya came on, and then all of a sudden they ended at half time equal.
Do you think that if Anya Williams was on from early on, it wouldn't be 33-33 at half time? It would have been way different from the super shot time.
I do. Do you think?
I think it's something that you hate to keep saying the same thing, but if you are saying the same thing, it's usually because something needs to change.
I do think, like I said before, Rhea Dixon's very good. She moves and she's creative, and she creates space for Rolene, and they work really well together in the 1 point time. But I think then just bring on Anya. Just do that. Loads of other teams. Dragons do that.
And if they know as well that Rolene is the only person that they really need to mark when it comes to shot time, they're just, that's it. It's just double marker.
Yeah. And Anya does this when you're off and you're doing a goal line throw in, and so you can do it off the post and then jumping in. She does it at the bottom of
I've seen that
the post, and I think that's just so that it can bounce on the floor, so it's definitely not a short pass, or there's something in there.
Okay.
Or if she's got longer to get onto court to then pick it up or something. But I was thinking that looks much safer than trying to just hit the post, especially amateurs like us where we don't have the padding around the post.
Yes,
right?
The padding makes a difference because the surface area is much different.
Exactly.
Also, I've got beef. I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
I've got beef with the whole pass the ball to the posting. As a defender, that is a sheer advantage to attacking teams only. Because if I lean on the post as a defender, then not allowed.
No.
If I knock it, not allowed.
No.
So is it part of the court or is it a player? What is
player,
the rule?
but that's why you can't knock it. Because
but
if I
leant on a player and they didn't have the ball, allowed.
But it's contest, isn't it? The post isn't pushing you back, Ally.
It is.
It's not.
It's pushing against me.
It's stationary.
It's got a life of its own. Don't you tell me. But do you know what I mean? If it's classed as a player or part of the court or whatever, when they throw it on and it gives the ball back to the court, whatever, then surely if I accidentally trip into it and it wobbles, It's not got the ball. It's not got possession. So surely the 3 meter rule, the 1 meter rule doesn't count.
I don't know. It's worth. Why don't you write?
I'm going to write a strongly worded
England
letter.
Netball.
I don't know if you've heard of my podcast.
Yes.
But I got things to say.
Yeah. So tune in, England Netball.
Thank you. Let's come in your way.
Yeah. Another rule that I heard on TikTok actually is that you can throw the ball from a backline pass. So this is something that you could use.
Okay.
Is that if you're doing a backline pass,
Bold to assume that I could do that, but Karen.
and if you throw and you hit the net counts as a player as well. So if everyone's running away from you, as they often do in these like backline passes,
So I could like throw
if
and
you
then
throw
jump
and
into
hits
the
the
D.
net and then drops, you can receive it again because you know otherwise it would count as if you're throwing to yourself. However, then as I'm talking, I realise we don't often have nets.
Oh yeah, another downside of we play with those absolute broken ass.
Yeah, just a rim. That's what we have. We have no net a lot of the time.
Does it count if you touch the rim?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there's a bit of an innuendo in there I didn't like. Either way, bold of you to also assume that our umpires would know that rule.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry to the umpires who are listening.
So anyway, at halftime it was 33-33.
Oh yeah, back to the game.
And Dragons made 6 super shots at that time. Nottingham Forest had 5. Dragons had 32 penalties. Nottingham Forest had 29. The shooting accuracy was very similar. However, Dragons had 14 deflections versus Nottingham Forest's 5. But Dragons only had 1 intercept and Nottingham Forest had 4. So, I don't know. It was 33-33 and then you look at the stats and you go, yeah, that makes sense that they're all very similar then.
Yeah, and it kind of continued like that, right?
Pretty much. Dragons then went up by 4 for the third, at the end of the third, and then they won overall by 1, and that was their first win at home in 2 years.
Yeah, right. So that in itself is something to celebrate, and they won. It was by. I think it's more exciting when you win tight as well. Like, yeah, if they'd have absolutely, wipe it out to the end, amazing. But to do it with that, I imagine that the excitement in the arena would have been so good. I love that they got a win.
Yeah, I love that they got a win. And it's great for Philippa Yarrington to have that win and for it to be at home in your last home game before you retire and all that stuff is very cool. And it was the last minute. If you haven't watched this game, just watch the last minute because it was like end to end and Nottingham Forest genuinely looked like they could beat Dragons at the end and they didn't. But if you're a Nottingham Forest fan, you would have been no nails left because you would have thought we can actually do this.
Yeah.
100% we could do it. And I would say the only real thing that the difference was the super shot again. So Dragons got 12 and Nottingham Forest had 10.
Super shot time. It's a game changer.
It really, really is.
Super shot.
And at the end, Dragons had chocolate milk being poured for them all.
That's so cute.
That is so cute, isn't it? Doesn't it
feels
remind you of like
kindergarten
nursery?
vibes.
Yeah. And I thought that's probably a brilliant after netball snack, really. Protein, sugar, carbs.
Yeah. Should we get some chocolate milk after this?
I think we should. Bethan Dyke, well done, you're player of the match.
Hope you enjoyed your choco milk.
Yeah.
Let's get ready for Rhinos.
Game 2 was Leeds Rhinos versus London Mavericks. Last time they played each other, Mavs won by 10. And I was thinking, how's this going to be? But Naomi Wilson was back after her injury.
Which is a big return.
Yeah, well, so it meant that Rhinos were in full force all of a sudden again. After having horrendous... Well, obviously, when I say full force, I mean without Jazz Brown. But anyone that could come back is back.
Yes. All the minor-ish injuries are now unminored.
And London Mavericks aren't the same because they've lost Emma Thacker. A shoulder injury is now season ending for her.
Which is devastating.
Oh.
I saw a post as well and it was like, this season I really started to fall back in love with netball. Oh,
so sad.
It's so hard. As well, the Netball League is so short that I don't know whether that makes it better or worse, but if you get an injury, it could so quickly be the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So
but they've got this new replacement, Sophie Egbaron, who we've spoken about before, we loved.
Yeah, so Sophie Egbaron was next gen until this season. And then when Panthers lost Tiana Mataru, she was called up from next gen to play for them and now has been called up for Mavs to play for them, but signed.
Yeah, permanently rather than a temporary player.
Yes.
Yes, which is very cool, very exciting. And yeah, looking forward to seeing her on court, I suppose. So, but it meant that we had Emily Andrews starting and Sophie Egbaron was on the bench.
She was, do we call them impact players for every
Yes.
team? Yes. I know that some teams, when you see their their team sheets, some have written sub and some write impact player. Oh. So I'm not sure whether it's just Whoever makes the sheet doesn't know that they're called
maybe.
players. I don't know.
But they are impact players, but they're also our subs. So
yeah. But I like that Netball calls them impact players.
Because they do have an impact.
Yeah, I like it. It's like game changers. So I do like the way they do that. It makes it sound less like benched.
Yes.
And I also think with netball, you are going to put them on most likely. So.
Yeah. Because you need to change things up. Things change very quickly in netball, don't they? But in the first quarter, the commentators shouted out the Wrexham viewing party that Beth on TikTok and on Instagram. She's a netball influencer. And she based in
Wrexham?
Yeah, and she did her viewing party this weekend, and I was like, that's so cool.
I love that they shouted that out.
Yeah, they didn't actually use her name, so I'm using your name, Beth. And I hope you had people come down and people enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, so anyone who doesn't follow Beth, highly recommend. She is, I don't know, because I just call her Beth in my head, I can't remember what her actual handle is, but we can find that out. It's like Bloom Netball, maybe?
Beth Bloom in Netball, yeah.
Beth Bloom in Netball, there we go. And she does a lot of NSL content. She also does coaching content. She does grassroots content. And she arranged a viewing party for a couple of games this weekend. So very worth giving a follow if you are a netball lover.
Yeah,
in general.
Of course. And I'm love to hear that the commentators know that those things are happening.
Yes, because it means that we're all in the same world a little bit.
We are. We're all on the same boat trying to get people to games.
We're all on the same boat.
Yeah. So it was a great start from Leeds Rhinos. They were up 10-5 before the Super Shot started. And then all of a sudden the Super Shot started and Mavs were then up by 3. It ended the first quarter at 13-16.
That's not much to, like, there's not much in it.
But it meant that Rhinos obviously only got 3 goals in the whole of the Super Shot time. I think Harriet Jones was on fire. She definitely came alive in the second quarter.
But yeah, I think, it's Rhinos just, sometimes I feel like they can't, well, this, like we said, it's what Lauren Palmer said a few weeks ago, they can't maintain. Sometimes you think, oh my gosh, they're on fire, and then something happens and they're not on fire anymore. They just need to, keep the fuel burning.
But then we got back on for Q2, and like I said, Harriet Jones just came alive. They've put 3 ticks next to her name, and she was enjoying the Super Shot zone outside of the Super Shot time. So she was just,
I love that how you say Super Shot however you want to.
Whatever, you guys all know what I mean. But anyway, she was enjoying them for the 1 point, even though in certain time periods they would be worth 2. But she's
like,
so,
look what I can do.
Yeah, she's got hot hands. She was brilliant to watch, and Rhinos brought it back within 1 point in that. So it ended 28-32 at halftime.
So that's only 4 in it.
Yes.
Which, again, still another tight game. We are having tight games.
Yeah, it really is. Rhinos had 37 penalties at halftime,
37.
15 of which were only Yemi Wilson.
Only Yomi Wilson? That's so many.
It is so many, correct. It is. And it's more than what is necessary, I think. The whole of London Mavericks team scored 21 by halftime. So for Yemi Wilson to have 15 on her own is too many.
It's a lot, and you start to think, what would the score be if they weren't giving away that many balls?
Exactly. So at halftime, Lauren Palmer moved Bella Bayliss to wing attack, which we don't normally see her, and Massa came off.
She usually does the whole game as centre, right?
Yeah, so I looked into Massa because she didn't look like she was excelling in this game against Donahue for Mavericks.
Gemma Donahue.
She just looked really small, so I googled how her height is.
I love this. I love that you're just sat there like,
On one website, she is 168 centimetres, and another she's 165. But if she is 165, that's only 5'5".
Indy Massa.
Yes.
I mean, what's the position? That
Wing attack.
Yeah, that checks for me.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know how tall Donahue is, but she just looked,
Gemma
she was
Donahue's
struggling to
pretty
get
tall.
she was struggling to get the ball, and I was like, I think it's a height related issue here.
Yeah, Gemma Donahue, I interviewed her as part of the Courtside Confidence series for NSL, and I remember looking up a little bit. So I'm 5'9", 175 centimetres. So she's either on par or taller, I'd say. So that's at least 4 inches difference.
That makes a difference in mid-court.
It does.
So yeah, that was a great choice by Lauren Palmer. But Harriet Jones, once again, just brings it to like 43-43. Then it was 45-45. And it ended only 1 in it by the end of the third quarter. So it was 47-48 to London Mavericks after Q3.
Oh, I love this. If you were either a Rhinos fan or a Mavs fan, this would be such a good game to watch.
And you were saying that Q3 is where they let it go.
I did. I said that.
And they didn't.
And
they
didn't.
had their best quarter in Q3.
Ooh, okay, Rhinos.
Yeah, so they're listening, they're learning, they're changing, which we love to see, love the growth.
We love the growth. And they did. There was Lauren Palmer who said, I just want to be able to hold on. We've shown that we can do we can do a half. We can do 2 quarters. We just need to get the full game. And I would say, look, spoiler alert coming now, they lost. It was 60-63 to Mavs, but I don't think that's a bad game.
Not at all. Not at all.
I think they did hold on for 4 quarters.
They did. And there was a little thing that came out that apparently Sam-Marie Visser from Rhinos actually started her career as a goal attack.
I love finding out these random facts.
I know.
I wonder what it is when you're a coach and you watch someone, because you play so completely different when you are not in your position, that for them to look at a player who is obviously excelling, because these kind of players will excel whatever position they're in, and go, no, I know what will work with you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you seeing? What do you see as a coach with that special coachy eye that makes you go, absolutely not, I know where you're meant to be?
Yeah, hit us up if you're listening and you know the answer to that. If you know that as a coach, when I'm looking for a defender, I'm looking for these things, or if I'm looking for an attacker, I look for these things, I'd be really interested to know. But that meant that now London Mavericks are still in the running to be in the top 4.
That is going to be a good conversation when we get to the league, because it's all to play for now. It's getting tight.
It is getting tight. We've got a couple that have got secured their spots, but there's still 2 spots open. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing who gets them. But Rhinos got their bonus point, and that felt like such a win when they got their last bonus point. They didn't seem as excited this time.
Maybe because they've already had that feeling.
Yeah, but it just shows that they are growing through this season, aren't they? And Izzy Phillips got player of the match for London Mavericks, and that was her first time captaining the team, because Emma Thacker is no longer playing, obviously, with her injury. So Izzy's taken over the captaincy, and she did brilliantly. She was a great leader, and she's normally someone that I would also be like, oh, she does good, like quite a lot of penalties, or she does this, or she does that. But actually, I felt like she had cleaned up her play a little bit.
Maybe the responsibility got to her head, and she was like, well, can't be doing that now.
Good for you, Izzy.
Right, Ro, are you ready?
I am.
I've not even made any notes on this one, because I was there live in person, in action.
You were courtside as well.
I was courtside.
On the ground.
I was on the ground, reporting hot from the spot.
Yeah.
It was such a good game. I haven't even said what game it is. This is Pulse versus Lightning.
And Sammy Wallace-Joseph picked up an injury during training, right? So they precautionary kept her to one side. She was rested.
Which means it must have been a decent enough injury for them to rest her, because this is currently champions, right? This is current in the league champions Lightning versus current holding the title champions.
Yeah.
Pulse.
Well, I don't know if it would have been a big injury. I think this could have been tactical as well, can I just say, because they're already in the top 4. Loughborough Lightning are already there at through to the next stages, right?
So they're like, keep her ready for the semis, prelims, whatever it is.
Absolutely put her through the ringer now, when she's likely having to do it again against Pulse in a few weeks' time.
Tactical brain.
It could be. We don't know. And so everyone was saying, oh, Pulse have got a chance now. Or if Pulse only win, it's only because they don't have Sammy. And I feel like that's wrong, but we can come on to that.
I actually disagree with that. I did have that feeling that, obviously they're at not an advantage, but I was like, when the amazing shooter is out, you are automatically going to be like, well, that's good if you want Pulse to win. It was tight. The whole game was tight. The whole way through it, I didn't know who was going to win. And that's why I felt the game was so good.
Yeah.
I also could not, throughout the whole game, work out who my player of the match was going to be. It changed about 10 times. I went from Adio at one point to Gracie Smith at another. I think I went back to Adio at one point again. Everything. I know I'm not giving you any order here. Do you want to start from the beginning?
Okay, so Q1, Pulse were up. It was 15-13 at the end of Q1.
Yes.
I've got James's notes here today. So thank you, fiance James, for these notes, because
exceptional work there.
Yeah, he's really done me a favour, and it meant I could watch it and enjoy it rather than watching it for work. I don't know. Sometimes writing notes
out having a great time, and then you could watch it on the actually feeling like the enjoyment of it.
Exactly. And one of his takeaways from the end of Q1 was Sophie Kelly was the difference, but Berry Neal was shooting at 100% as well. So it sounded like it was tight end to end. Yeah.
To be fair, the whole game shooting was exceptional from Lightning. Ella Clark, when she gets the ball, you notice even the defenders like Adio, Fumi, whatever, they walk away. They just know it's going in. And you know that once she's got it, that's it. So it wasn't an easy game. I think I saw Ella Clark maybe miss one the entire game when she got it. Berry Neal seemed to get every single one in. Have you got the stats? Did James make a stats note? Was that right? Was
he
it 100%?
Did halftime stats. So at the end of Q2, it ended up being Lightning ahead by 4. So it was 34 to Lightning. So they obviously had a brilliant Q2, and he's written the stats down. So London Pulse were shooting accuracy was at 80%, whereas Loughborough Lightning was at 95%. So I'm sorry, whether they had Sammy Wallace-Joseph or not,
they've got 3 amazing shooters.
They've got 3 amazing shooters,
Yeah.
whoever they play. Yes, she is brilliant. Yes, we always say it. We shout her out every week. But blimey, did Berry Neal and Ella Clark do her justice.
Chance for Berry Neal to show absolutely who she is, right?
Yeah. And Pulse had more gains. We had 5 gains at halftime, whereas Loughborough Lightning had 1. But we would need the gains if we're not shooting accurately. So,
which we weren't. And I did notice Liv Cheen, maybe in the second half, but definitely throughout the game, she wasn't accurate. There was points where I thought that was an easy shot. Again, coming from someone who sits on the sofa and talks about it. But there were points where I was like, that was an easy shot. I would have thought she'd have got that in, and she didn't. There was also something happening in Pulse's defence. I don't know what it was, but something wasn't right. And it seemed as though I was looking at the pitch, there was some kind of disruption between Halle Adio and Fumi Fidoju. There was just miscommunications, or they were in the same spot. They were both trying to mark the same. They weren't working in harmony the way that we always say they do.
Yeah, but they don't often get to play with each other full games at the moment, because, for example, when they played Birmingham Panthers, they were like, oh, we'll just have a play around. Or when we played Leeds Rhinos, other people have moved to, Zara was in goal defence for a bit. It's like they just kind of just have been playing around, and when you do that, you miss opportunity to practice with teams that are not your own, not playing half court, not doing those things. But apparently Cheen missed 3 super shots in a row in the second quarter.
And it was noticeable. You could see that was happening.
And Berry Neal was still at 100%.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to be up if your stats aren't matching theirs. So, yeah, it sounded like a game. It was back-to-back.
Yeah.
Q3 ended 45-48. So, Pulse still trailing behind. Loughborough Lightning were up.
And I think at this point, Fumi had come off, which was this is when it started to get a bit confusing and surprising. Fumi came off. Adio moved to goal defence. Darcy came on as goalkeeper. And Darcy played amazing, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, they're against one of the hardest teams, the top of the league right now. And Darcy played like that was her position. She was 100% in the ring. Like, she just was on it. She got some great deflections, great tips. I think, and again, Adio as well, goal defence, great deflections, great tips, seemed really in the rhythm. Positions that I haven't really seen her. If I think of Halle Adio, I think of her as goalkeeper.
Yeah, of course.
But she played great.
Yeah. And Pulse were 8 down at the start of the super shot, and at the end of Q4, it was 60-60. Something happened when Fumi Fidoju came off and the super shot started, and James has put in capital letters, Gracie.
Yes. Gracie Smith has to have a shout out on this. And I honestly thought she would get player of the match. She wasn't tiring, and maybe it's the youth, but she was not tiring, and she was everywhere. The interceptions that she got throughout this game can go down in an epic novel. She did so well.
Yeah.
And Pulse, I think, in those moments where other players were kind of not at the heat of the game, if they didn't have Gracie Smith, I'm saying we, maybe I'm a Pulse fan now.
You are a Pulse fan.
I'm a Pulse fan now. Pulse would have lost a lot more if Gracie hadn't turned and got things back and got those interceptions. They owed a lot to her.
Yeah. They did a highlight reel just of Gracie at the end of this game, because she was like...
Easily done.
Yeah,
Easy highlight reel.
Absolutely vital.
She was exceptional. And again, every time you're like, I cannot believe that this person is 17.
But in Q4, didn't Selena Appleby-Prince go down with an ankle injury, did you say?
Yes. So, and it was very sudden. There was a bit of a fumble. She landed, I think it was just a landing. I don't know. But again, it's horrible to see. I was, very close. I could see her face immediately upset. You knew it wasn't just like a roll. The first aid or whatever team running across straight away, and then she was taken off, no weight on the ankle. It looks like it's going to be an announcement of a serious injury.
Oh gosh.
Which isn't ever what you want to hear. Let's hope it's a sprain and nothing more.
So we had Jonah Noel on again.
Yeah. Which I don't really think she was that impactful. I think Serena Appleby-Prince was, that's why she was on from the beginning, but a far a far more impactful goalkeep.
Of course. But yeah, well, then we went to extra time.
Oh, that last minute. And this is the thing, you cannot tell me that netball is not an exciting sport, because my heart rate, the cortisol levels, the hormones firing through my body, out of this world. It was back to back to back to back. And when I recorded the moment that I was in disbelief. When it went to extra time, 60-60 was it? I couldn't even work it out. Like, it was so obvious extra time. I could do the basic maths of add 2 to that. That's going to be 60-60. And I was like, extra time? Is it extra time? Oh my God, it's extra time. I think in that moment, I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I think I need to leave.
So then it's 5 minutes for 2 halves, and the whole of the time is super short time.
It is heart rate raising stuff. And it was so good. From the second extra time started, you were now watching from home, right? You got home in time for extra time. So you were a few tequilas in. It must have been even more stressful for you.
Cheen was on fire.
Cheen came back alive, right? So at this point, I took back everything that I'd said about Liv Cheen in the past few moments. And without her, it would have been a very different story in extra time. She was super shot after super shot after super shot. And it was as if she maybe needed the pressure.
Yeah.
Is she now like one of these players who, when it's all or nothing time, she's getting it in no stop? Because it was like, I was like, why did I ever doubt her?
Yeah. So it ended 71-65 at the end of that half.
Yeah.
So then you're like, Pulse haven't been up this whole time. They were up by 2 at the end of Q1.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're up by 4 at the end of...
By 6.
6?
So high over the map.
What?
Yeah, they were up by 6. And
this is what they did with Nottingham Forest, right? It was so tight, and it goes to extra time, and they're just like, oh no, we can play.
And you know why? Because Gracie Smith, she was the energy. There's a moment where she does an interception, can't remember, umpire says something, and then Liz goals, Gracie Smith, they celebrate. They're not winning yet. I think they're winning, but not like there's still 5 minutes to go. They celebrate like they've just been called that they won. They celebrated harder in that moment than they did when the final whistle blew. Oh, it was so good. And then at that point as well, it was when it was 71-65, we were moving on. I sat with Eloise, who I went to watch it with, and she went, oh, they've definitely got it in the bag. And I was like, no, we cannot think like that. We cannot. That's 3 shots. That's all that's in that. We cannot think like that. I don't even know what the final score was.
It ended 75-71. So they, once again, Loughborough Lightning brought it back within 4. But apparently, Darcy was amazing in extra time. Best game for her so far. There was a couple of misses from Berry Neal, Ella Clark, but back-to-back Pulse misses as well in that last 5 minutes. So it was just, you just didn't know which way it could have gone.
It was so good. That was my game of the season. And I am so glad I went to see it live.
What was the atmosphere like?
The noise. It was ringing in my ears. I'm not mad about it at all. I was very happy about it. Like, when I turned around for 1 second to see what was going on, all the women, all the girls stood up, screaming, leaning over the bars. Like, it was, everyone was so edge of their seat. Well, not even edge of the seat, they were off the seats. It was, and it was such a moment for netball.
Yeah.
It felt like, this is what like we're striving for. That
you want every game to be this epic.
Be like that. Like the screams out. It was so good. And when they won, seeing like Gracie throwing her hands in the air and doing a spin, everyone running out. It was, I think at the end as well, it ended on a penalty. And so we had to wait for Lightning to take that penalty. And I was like, doesn't matter if they get it or not. We've won. So it was kind of like, come on, hurry up.
Yeah, let's go on with it.
Hurry up, we want to celebrate. Yeah. The lights were already flashing pink. We don't want it now.
Yeah. So it meant that London Pulse has got a top 4 spot.
Yep, secured.
So they are going to the semi-finals. But it also meant that Lightning got a bonus point, not because they ended within 5, which it did, but also because anyone that takes you to extra time gets a bonus point, right? So it means that the league table remains the same. Even though Pulse won, Lightning are still on top.
Which, fine. They did play very, very well. Like, we're obviously...
Oh, incredible. Nat Panagari apparently was stealing stuff all over the shop.
Everyone. Like, you could literally... I could talk about every single player on the pitch. I could talk about every single player on the court. Everybody played, as you would say, out the skin. Out the socks.
Out the socks, yeah. So player of the match was Liv Cheen in the end, but I think pretty much the people's player was Gracie Smith.
I would have given it to Gracie Smith, but, I'm not picking them, so.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day.
Maybe one day from this humble sofa.
Game 4, Manchester Thunder versus Birmingham Panthers. And that was today. We're recording on a Monday. So you came over early and we watched it together.
We did. We had a little girly melon Coke Zero and Thunder's versus Panther.
Yeah. They last played in round 4. Manchester Thunder won by 10.
Which, we said this. Thunder didn't play at what we would say is Thunder capacity. They didn't play with the full storm at the beginning of the season, I'd say.
Agreed.
There was something not quite right.
Yeah.
So I honestly thought this would be more of a big gap in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And again, from the beginning, 9-0 within like 5 minutes.
Yeah, in Q1 it was just like, oh, they called a tactical timeout, did they, or no?
I think Panthers called it. I think they just got to that point, and I think every team does it when there's this endless bout of goal.
Yeah.
Break the rhythm somehow.
Yeah.
And I think that did work.
It did. It ended 3 in it.
It definitely worked.
14-11 at the end of Q1.
I was very worried at the beginning that this game would be absolutely shocking for Panthers.
If it wasn't for the super shot again, it wouldn't be very fun.
It's a game-changing thing.
It really is. And then in Q2, there was a moment where Charlie Fiddler knocked Eleanor Cardwell's face. And then to say sorry, she just then held her face to be like, oh, sorry. And all in that whole time, Eleanor Cardwell was trying to take the shot. And it was like, get off me. I'm just trying to do something here, right?
If they're not body on body, then they're hands on face. That's just how those two operate.
They are. And that matchup, we spoke about that last time they were together. Matchup again, they were both on the floor twice, 100 times.
Well, also the commentators mentioned casually that Eleanor Cardwell is good at taekwondo or something like that.
Because she did the roll.
That was it.
Then they said that apparently everyone in England Netball, England Roses, gets taught how to fall to protect wrists and things like that.
Which makes sense.
So they everything goes in and you become like a sausage so that you keep sausage rolling.
And you're very good at sausage rolling when you
I'm
play.
really good
You're
at
really good at sausage rolling. I think that's good though, because even when you do things like when you do weightlifting, they teach you how to fail.
Yeah.
Because the fail could save you. Yeah. So I think, teach people, let's face it, in netball, we all fall over all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
I wish that maybe they need a few more lessons because they keep breaking things.
Oh, bless.
I know, these NSL players are falling apart.
But Eleanor Cardwell was literally on fire. She was so good. She was just popping everything in. I would wonder what her specific stats are. Mm-hmm. We know some of the stats for the team in general, but I would wonder what her stats are because I reckon they're through the roof.
Just send a little message on Instagram.
Let me know, Eleanor, if you listen, which I doubt you do, but
yeah, from Q2 onwards, that gap just got gappier.
Yeah, so
Thunder really
16 in at half time.
Yeah, which is a big gap to start with. And a team like Panthers, they just don't seem to have the confidence when it comes to the super shots.
No.
And it's a shame, but even some of Betsy Creek, I don't know whether it was a confidence thing. She just kept seeming to look like she wasn't even going to try. And you can't do that when you're behind by that much. You need those 2-pointers, and when you've got a team like Thunder who've got Eleanor Cardwell who's just going to take them, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
One thing I thought that worked really well for Thunder when they did bring Sophie Fawns on, and she did it last week as well, those interceptions where she kind of appears out of nowhere.
I don't know how she does it. She's just so quick.
And it kind of makes me see her a bit more of a mid-court player than I usually do.
Would you want to see her as a wing attack?
Maybe.
Really?
I think I can see it. And I think maybe I'm doing that coach thing where I'm like, this is what I see you as.
Maybe.
Maybe that's
maybe.
But that kind of nippiness isn't... Well, you do see it with a goal attack, but not quite as often as you would with a mid-court player.
Do you think she's a good feeder as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe they should try versatility. Manchester Thunder.
Look at what Paul's going to do.
Yeah. Try it. Mix it up. Why not?
Mix it up.
I was a shame, I think, that they didn't mix up more, like Pulse did against Birmingham Panthers. And Karen Gregg, from Manchester Thunder's head coach, did say that she wanted creativity today. And I thought, you've got to give us creativity then, Karen. You know?
Tell her.
You've got to mix up the teams. I want to see, I don't know, Eleanor Cardwell's goal attack for a bit. Yeah. I would love to see Amy Carter.
Screw it. Throw her in the centre.
Yeah, exactly. Amy Carter. Put her in the D.
Also, Amy Carter is a ER doctor.
Yeah.
Imagine, my girlfriend Katie said this the other day when we were talking about Neve Cooper, who's also an ER doctor, I think.
The Nottingham Forest Centre.
Nottingham Forest Centre, yeah. She was like, imagine professional netball being your release from your stressful job.
Wow.
Imagine professional netball being a release from being an A&E doctor.
Does that mean, though, that she can't go to some training sessions because of shift work and stuff?
Must do. Especially for ER. It must be the most difficult juggle.
Or do they let her off certain shifts because of she's pretty bloody good at netball. Right?
You'd be like side script in the NHS contract.
Yeah, maybe there is.
There must be something. She must be on like a set hours or something.
Amy, let
could
us
not
know.
possibly. Yeah, can you just message the pod?
Yeah.
This is going to keep us up at night.
We could make this a short because she's big on TikTok.
She is.
Yeah.
Also, she's doing something I saw today about injury prevention. She's got a new campaign, so I will find out what it's called and maybe make a little short about it for her. But it's she just posted something today, and that's how I know that she's an ER doctor, because it was about her own ACL injury that she recovered from.
Oh, wow. Very good. So back to the game. At the end of Q3, there was 25 in it. So it was 56-31. Amy Carter came off after all that.
She had a shift.
Yeah. She went to A&E.
Straight to A&E.
And Emma Rayner came on, which I would have kind of, if we're talking creativity, why did that not happen earlier then, Karen? But anyway.
I also really like watching Emma Rayner. I think
she's
she's a really good player.
so fun to watch.
Yeah. She seems to be in all the right places at all the right times.
Would you call her an attacking centre rather than a defensive centre? I'd say
Yes.
that Amy Carter's quite a defensive centre.
I wouldn't say I noticed that, but that's also something that I'm not very good at analysing. But I would definitely
Mid-court,
say...
shock.
Yeah, mid-court, my weakness.
Yeah.
No idea what's going on there. But I would say that I would notice Emma Rayner being an attacking centre, but I'm not very good at noticing the defensive stuff.
And so then it ended with 24 in it. So that meant that Birmingham Panthers won the last quarter, by the way.
So it won the whole game, was I?
No, they won the last quarter, and it was 69-45 at the end. So Manchester Thunder had 10 super shots in total versus Birmingham Panthers 5. But the main interesting point, I think, is that feeds. Manchester Thunder had 80 feeds across the game. Birmingham Panthers had 47.
Well, that's the difference, isn't it? That's
so
half.
many more opportunities.
Yeah.
The opportunities that were created for the Manchester Thunder shooters were prolific.
Oh, that was very good. Sexy words there.
Thanks.
Nice.
Embarrassed me. And so it's maybe no surprise that Nat Metcalf got player of the match.
Yeah, all those feeds.
feeds.
All those feeds.
Makes sense.
So hit me with the league.
So no change.
Okay, that's the end of that.
Yeah. Loughborough Lightning are still on the top, even though they've had their first loss. But because they lost in extra time, they got their bonus points. So they're on 28.
Okay.
With Pulse on 27.
Right.
So we, if you're a London Pulse fan like I am, still need someone to beat Loughborough Lightning.
Which, maybe Thunder? Maybe Forest.
Maybe Thunder, maybe Forest. I think there is still someone that could beat them that's coming up. Then we have Manchester Thunder on 25. So this weekend, Pulse at second and Manchester Thunder third are playing each other. So that will decide where they sit in the league table. So next week there may be a change. Because how many weeks have we talked that there's been no change to this league table?
Oh, it must be like 5.
Yeah. So then fourth is Nottingham Forest, fifth is Mavs, sixth is Dragons, seventh is Rhinos, and eighth is Birmingham Panthers. That fourth spot is the interesting bit. So Dragons, Mavs, and Nottingham Forest are all in the runnings.
Ooh, God, that fourth spot's going to be... That's the kicker, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one.
So next week is round 11. Friday at 7 o'clock, we've got Birmingham Panthers versus Loughborough Lightning.
I think that's going to get tiny.
Yep.
Sorry, Panthers.
Saturday at 3 o'clock, we've got Nottingham Forest versus London Mavericks. Do you remember when they played last time? And Nottingham Forest won by like 1 point.
Yes.
And Tamsin Greenway, for head coach at London Mavericks, was like, well, they obviously really wanted that because of how they were celebrating. Do you remember? And it was like, that obviously meant a lot to them, kind of vibes.
Ooh, this is going to be a good matchup.
And so I hope that like London Mavericks kind of give them one back, really.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. Saturday at 3:30, there is the Dragons versus Rhinos, another great game.
I think Dragons might take it. But then again, Rhinos are coming back.
They are. Yeah. They're on form at the moment. And then Saturday at 6 o'clock, we've got Manchester Thunder versus Pulse at Manchester Thunder playing at home.
Okay. And last time, Pulse beat Thunder, right?
Yes, yeah.
But Thunder have changed their game a little bit.
They're completely different teams since the beginning of the league.
Back, they've gelled. So, again, that could go either way.
All to play for.
So, Amateur Hour. I am so excited to talk about this one because this is a little bit different. This is us. Amateurs is kind of a different vibe. Amateurs of hosting.
Yeah, we hosted a panel.
It was insane.
We hosted an event. We hosted an evening with Ally and Rosie.
Ooh, it has a nice ring to it. We hosted our panel at Ben and Jack's studio. So those of you who follow, I don't know, the Netball Super League on socials, you'll probably see any Mavs photo. Well, a lot of Mavs photos. They do a lot of photography. They happen to be based in our town. Mm-hmm. Who knew? When I did the media days, started willy-nilly casually chatting about the train home to Maidenhead, and they were like, oh, that's where our studio is. So when we had this idea that we would do like a mid-season launch, we were like, oh, who should we ask? So I reached out to them, and they are so big on women's sports. They were like, yeah, you can host it here. So amazing.
It was great. And like the place, their studio is so cool. Like they've obviously just collected lots of cool things over the years, and they've got them all over the studio and as you guys already know, if you listen regularly, I'm not a cool gal.
You are a cool gal.
I am who I am. But I also don't need to be cool. I'm fine. I am what I am. But to walk in there, I think I pulled down the cool points by a few. But
absolutely not.
Yeah.
You own a podcast and you're a therapist. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But their space is, I will say, very cool. It's like vintage sofas.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just kind of like you need to be a
loads of
person.
Lamps.
Loads of lamps, lockers, a little bar in the corner, and then obviously their photography everywhere. So upstairs they put on an exhibition of all of their Mavs photography, which is insane.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So good. So that was the venue. Shout out to Ben and Jack. If you ever need a photographer, please go to them. They will make everything look good. Then we kind of went through a little bit of rejection therapy where we just asked, and we thought the worst they can say is no. I will say, out of maybe 10 people I asked for something, 70% said yes. Wow. Which is exceptional, really. Yeah. And I think I've seen this before. When you go through rejection therapy, what you actually find is you end up with more things because people say yes. And the people that didn't were very kind about it. And actually, I started a conversation with them. So I messaged Ellie Ratty from Mavs, had a nice conversation with her. Fumi Fidoju politely declined. Very lovely conversation with her. And I was in my head like, oh my God, I just spoke to Fumi. Yeah. And she told me she's busy, but what a nice conversation we had.
That's a win anyway. Yeah, so even just the conversation was a win, let alone if she came or not.
So that was that. But what we did get, so Claire Nelson, managing director of the Netball Super League, was on our panel. Yeah. Tamsin Greenway, head coach of London Mavericks, was on our panel. And Lucy Goodman, commentator, host, presenter for Sky Sports, was on our panel. And oh my God, they spoke so inspirationally. I thought Rosie was going to cry the whole time.
Oh, my eyes welled up, especially when Tamsin, we were talking a lot about what netball means to us or where netball's going and what it is like for the home team when you've got a good home crowd. And the stuff that she was saying was so inspirational. They were all inspirational, but I think Tamsin was the one that got me a couple of times.
Claire got you as well.
Yeah.
Every time I looked up, actually, Lucy did as well. She said something and I was like, Rosie's going to go.
Well, Lucy also spoke about her like returning back to court, and she's just so like resonated a lot with me, and the idea of like coming home really to a sport that you love and feeling so accepted in the game. And it's just really, really lovely event. And I had quite a few voice notes from my friends that came to support, and they were like, I'm so inspired and what you're doing is amazing, and I'm proud to be a netballer and I'm proud to be friends with you. And everyone was so wholesome, weren't they?
It was really a women supporting women evening.
We discussed what is femininity, what is a girly sport.
That was, I think Tamsin said something, no, sorry, I can't remember who said it, but someone said something about it being it's not a girly sport. And then we said, or is it? Is being girly actually being fierce and powerful and getting up when you've been knocked down and using your full body to protect the ball and all these things? And it's actually that netball redefines this completely. And I think our main plan, aim, our call to action was to get all these women that we play with every week to go to a Netball Super League game, experience it once, and then watch it live at home. And I honestly think we did that. The conversation was so, what's the word when you're hooked? Encapsulating, I can't remember what the word is. When you're just, you can't, there was silence.
It felt like everyone was gripped in the conversation. Everyone was there. And I also think hosting, I think that's probably why I felt a little bit emotional. It's like we were so close. It was such an intimate experience. Like there's 40, 50 people in the room. Yeah. It's a small kind of experience for everyone. It's very intimate to then be that close to people that are so passionate. Yeah. The way they spoke, it was just absolutely encapsulating.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I wanted to do was I've now been in this very fortunate situation, and I will say it's from hard work, but I've got myself into a lot of rooms where I get to hear these inspirational talks all the time. And I just knew that I wanted I was like, I've heard these now, but I know that how game changing these talks can be. And I know the people who need to hear them are not in this room. And I feel like we gave that moment. We also had some amazing brands who I fumbled together some very wordy messages of what we were trying to do. We're like, this is a community project. We really want it to work. And again, the rejection therapy, out of the 6 brands I messaged, 5 messaged back and agreed to give us things to give away.
Yeah, it was cool. Soft and Gentle sent us 140 bottles of shower gel and stuff. So that was amazing.
Everyone loved that. And then we had some lovely people from Soft and Gentle come to the event.
Yeah, really generous.
We had part of our community drive was that we had a boot drive, so to help women and girls in our local area who do not have access to sports shoes and therefore are either playing sport in unsuitable footwear, which we know is going to cause injuries and just isn't suitable, or they don't play because of it. So we had a boot drive. So we asked everybody to bring a pair of shoes that were in decent enough condition that maybe they don't wear enough anymore, that we could donate. And it all goes to this school in Slough.
And so then everyone that bought a boot got put into a raffle to win a pair of Alanda shoes. So we had Eloise from Alanda come along, and she kindly gifted shoes which have this ankle support, which is meant to be very preventative of ankle injuries and things like that. So it's kind of a boot for a boot type thing, wasn't it?
It was like doing it out of the kindness of your heart. And we didn't tell anyone either.
No, we didn't tell anyone.
So no one brought a pair of boots thinking they were going to win something.
No.
Everyone brought it out of the kindness of their hearts, and then we had this nice moment where we pulled, and actually the person who pulled,
so we got someone from the audience, and we were like, we needed someone from the audience to pull from the raffle bag, and I had labelled all of the people that bought a boots with them, 1 to however many there were, and I said pick a number between 1 and 20 or something like that. She picked a number, and I scrolled down the list, and I was like, okay, number 5. And I said her name. She won them. She picked her number, and she picked herself as a winner.
She nailed it, and she was so happy. So that was
shout out Sian.
Yeah, shout out to Sian. That was a perfect moment. We also had a local community pizza place called Presto, who again told them it was a community event, and they donated some pizzas as well. There was a portion that we paid for, but then they were like, yeah, this is great. And then they donated us some free pizzas for prizes, a voucher for people to come have a meal. So good. There was another one. I can't even remember.
We had loads of people. Flyhawk sent us some balls. We got Tamsin to sign a few of the balls, and we did a giveaway of those balls at the event.
I have to say a funny story. So our friend Hope is Netball Super League super fan. We asked Hope if she'd stand on the door, and as people came in, if she would take their name, we had a list, but we were like, people will come who aren't on the list, just add them to the end. And if they are on a netball team in the local area, we've got 6 London Mavericks balls to give away that Flyhawk have kindly given us. Please can you write down, if you want to be part of a draw, write down your name and your team name, and we'll pull a draw at the end and you might get a ball. So last minute, Susie Liversidge from London Mavericks comes to the event. I, in my head, was like, I must tell Hope, she'll be so excited about this. Completely forget to tell Hope. She arrives. Hope's got her clipboard at the door, looking incredibly important.
Yeah.
She was a big deal.
She was important.
She was incredibly important. She helped us a lot. And I think, one as well, this is seeing creatures out of their natural habitat. None of them look like nobody we
Susie
knew.
wasn't wearing a dress.
She wasn't wearing a dress. She had jewellery, she had makeup, she had her hair down.
Yeah.
Not what you'd usually see looking like. I think that Hope's brain just was so in her job, because she would have recognised that the second she looked up. And she was like, can I take your name? Susie Liversidge. She was looking on a list, can't find her. And she was like, oh, you're not on the list. And she was like, no, I might not be. I wasn't coming until late. And she's like, don't worry, I'll write you down. And she goes, oh, are you on a netball team? Because if you are, you could be in a chance with winning a London Mavericks netball. Susie Liversidge goes, oh yeah, don't worry. Hope that you said that. Hope then pushes her and goes like, no, tell me your team name. And she's like, London Mavericks. Oh
God, the world must have swallowed her up. You would just be begging for a big black hole to swallow you up, wouldn't you?
Hope comes running over after, and she's like, I'm mortified. I just asked Susie Liversidge if she wants to win a London Mavericks ball, and she plays for London Mavericks. So funny. But that was great. And then the balls did go to some team members.
Yeah, they
so
did.
that was great. They got some great balls. And then the last thing was that Hustle kindly donated some products. So Hustle are a sponsor for Loughborough Lightning. Very involved in the women's sport space. I see them pop up all the time. They're such big advocates. They are a period products brand, so an alternative period products brand. They make period pants of many different varieties, sizes and fits. And obviously with a sport like netball, which is completely dominant for women, what a product to have as a sponsor.
Amazing, because wasn't it on court at any one time 25% of your team might be on their period? So
yeah, absolutely, it makes sense really when you think about it. So they donated so kindly some products which we got to give away as a prize in the night, but what they also donated was 2 tickets to the grand final
on the 20th of June at the Co-op Live in Manchester.
And it is the first ever women's sport event at this venue in the UK, and I think it's the biggest venue in the UK for arena wise. So what an achievement for netball.
Yeah, so we said to everyone that was there, if you tag us in a post, if you tagged Presto and you tagged Ben and Jack Studio, you could be in a chance of winning these tickets.
And you're about to find out who the winner is.
And the winner is...
Do you want to say it?
Trish!
Yay! So Trish, we will get your tickets to you. You've got 2 tickets to the grand final.
Yeah, to Manchester. Hope you're free on the 20th of June.
Because it's going to be insane.
And we'll see you there.
And after that roundup, I think we've talked longer than 3 seconds.
Thanks for joining us again today, guys.
And we'll see you. Oh, wait, we have a mid-season break because I've ruined everything and gone on holiday. So next week, there'll be no episode. We will share lots of shorts and things to keep you all entertained. But then the week after, we will be back.
Yeah, we'll be back with a vengeance. And we'll have 2 weeks to discuss.
Oh, it's going to be a long episode.
Yeah. Good luck, guys.
See you later.
Bye.